Hey, time for another episode of Ugly Marketing, and today I want to tell you this is actually something that just happened for one of my local businesses, one of my companies here. We started a new media. Specifically, we started running in the local newspaper. Yes, the newspaper, like they actually print it out and deliver it to people's houses, and people go out and pick it up and open it up and read about the daily news in the newspaper. So for those of you who are younger, not familiar with that, it's still a concept, it still works, and you still make money advertising if you do it right. But of course you need to watch your numbers, especially with new media. So here was the interesting part. First ad we ran, we're running an ad 3 times a week because of course a newspaper is a daily deal, right? Some of it will hold over, some of it, but for the most part, newspaper comes, they read it, they throw it away. They may be familiar, they may remember an ad or something and look for it again, but for the most part, the newspaper shows up, they read the newspaper, they throw the newspaper away, and then it's on to the next one. So in newspaper advertising, you need to make sure that every ad hits, every ad produces, because what you have, you're 95, 98% of what's going to come from running that ad on Sunday or on Wednesday or on Friday or on Thursday or on Tuesday or whatever. 95 to 98% of that is going to come within a day or two, and then it's dead. That ad's dead. This is not something like a coupon book that can hang around for months on end. And coupon books do hang around for months on end, by the way. But newspapers, not so much. So we run it on Sunday. Tuesday, I get a couple of calls. That's kind of strange for it to take 2 days for the couple calls to come in, but we got a couple calls. I know it was from the Sunday ad because that was the first ad we ran. The next ad we ran was on Wednesday. Wednesday comes. I don't get any phone calls. Call over there. Send me the tear sheets, please, for my ad. So Sunday, okay, so I'm going to try and describe this to you. Okay. Sunday, they ran the ad in the B section of the paper. So the A section is the first section, B section is the next section. A section has the biggest readership. However, they ran the ad under the continuation of a story from the front page. So you open it up, unfold the paper, you got the front page sitting in front of you, you read part of that story, it says continued on B8. You go to section B8 and you finish that story. Directly under that ad, it was the only story on that page, and directly under that ad was my ad. Quarter-page ad, directly under where the end of the story. I got some calls. Wednesday, they ran me in the A section, page A13. Well, presumably that would actually be better than the B section because you're still in the A section, which has high readership. However, in this particular page, it was not a continuation from a story that started on page 1. So it was just, the story was on page 13, and there were 2 ads on top of mine. So we had a small story that was standalone. It was not a continuation from page 1. Then we had 2 big ads side by side. And then under those ads, at the very bottom of the page, was my ad, where people's eyes are never even going to get a chance to see it. No calls on Wednesday. Not unusual. So, of course, the first thing I did was call up. Once I saw that tear sheet last night, I sent an email that I needed to talk to the sales rep, and I talked to the sales rep, who, by the way, was actually covering for my original sales rep, so the poor guy's not even making a commission for getting on the phone with me and going back and forth. But I explained to him what we needed to do. He said he would make the requests. Normally, they try and fill the requests, whatever it happens to be. It doesn't happen all the time, but normally they try and fulfill the requests. That's, by the way, that's very standard in newspaper advertising. They're not going to promise to do what you want them to do every single time. He did say, if somebody's paying for premium placement or something, then you may get bumped. It's perfectly understandable. Somebody's paying a rate for premium placement, then they come first. However, my qualifications are broad enough where I should be able to find a spot that works without interfering with anybody's upsell. or anybody's premium placement money. So my point again, you got to watch your numbers daily, especially when you're running something that has a very limited lifespan. You see, and this particular business, it's a one-shop business. Now, I understand we are, of course, going to work on bolting things onto it, etc. But this is something where somebody calls, gets the job, and that's all the work you're going to do for that person for years and years and years. Now, of course, there's things that we do as far as referrals and things that we do as far as getting more business out of the neighborhood and things that we do, because this is a geographic thing. So if one house is having the problem, other houses are having the problem, etc. So there's all kinds of ways that we try and maximize that. But the most important way that we're talking about now, when you're running, especially with something like this, when you're running marketing that has a limited lifespan, a limited shelf life, like a newspaper, then you have to make sure that you make every single day count. Don't just run it and check what happened over the course of a month. Don't just run it and check what happened over the course of a week. Daily, every time that ad appears, you got to track the phone calls. And even if it's not perfect, every time that ad appears, you track the phone calls and you make sure that you are making money with it. So hope that helps out. It is, I think it's important that you guys know that I actually am doing the stuff that I'm also teaching. I'm building businesses with it. It's what we do. So hope that helps. Make sure you're tracking your numbers, and don't forget about old media. Old media still produces big time. So with that said, go make some money. I'll talk to you tomorrow.